So these clients sent me the recommendations from their electrician for recessed cans for the plans that we had come up with. And when I looked at them, there were a couple of problems with the specifications. And I realized that telling you that a small 4-inch can that's up away from the ceiling is not enough to get the right lights. So today I want to talk about the type of lights and when you want to use them. When you shop for your recessed lights, you want to remember what you need them for. So if it's going to be for a spot on your countertop, you need a different kind of light than if it's for a piece of artwork. They had the electrician give them some specifications for recessed lights for the plan that we came up with. What you need should dictate the type of light that you buy. I pulled up the specs on these RAB lights from Pro Lighting. These are 60 watts a piece. I've been car shopping for weeks, and I haven't bought a car in God knows how long. I mean, this truck is very old in car years, but she's a good old girl. But I need a new car, so I need to educate myself about what's out there based on what I need. I want to make sure that they understand what kind of lights you need for the kind of job that you're going to do. So this is what he's proposing for the flat part of the ceiling. You see a little baffle. And then this is for, I would assume, what he's proposing for the sloped ceiling part, 60 watt equivalent. So it's about 600, 650. That's not great. And it's going to be from higher up. And this thing here, that little eyeball edge. Ugh, remember the olden eyeballs? We all had them. They were hideous and they get dust right there. So I'm not crazy about that. And more importantly, I would like to see more lumens. And that's what you got to do first. So what kind of car is going to do what I need it to do? And that's what I got to stop looking at all these bells and whistles and all these freaking Lamborghinis driving by me and find a car that's tall enough and big enough to hold my paddleboard. End of story. They sent me back some of the recommendations that, let's go look at the Ferrari dealership just for fun. Pro Lighting, where he's shopping, has a much better alternative. It is more expensive. That one was $30, so it's going to be double the cost. However, it's going to give you 1,000 lumens. It's going to give the regressed baffle. So in addition to being able to tilt it, it's going to be set up so when it tilts, it won't show. So that's an option. You don't have a lot of them, and it's, you know, just think about it. Now, other alternatives for the straight up down lights, and these are that brand he likes, RAB 4-inch. These just have a better lumen output, 1200, 1500. They have a recess. This one has a smooth reflector on the inside. So let's see if we can see. So the inside of the cavity is smooth, so it will send more light out. And this one has a baffle where it will be softer. I'd go with the baffle, but these are inexpensive and they're going to give you a better output. They give you the choice as far as color temperature, but the lumens is higher. I'm showing you the inside of this because that's the bulb sunk way up in there. What it does is, here it is on a sloped ceiling housing. That can move too. It doesn't have to hit straight down. It could also hit, if you have the sloped ceiling and you want to hit the wall artwork. Now these are pricier because it's sloped ceiling and it's a shallow depth. Even if it's this one, it's better lumen output than these two that he's putting out there. There's better choices in this company, and there's better choices if your wafer lights are going to be your starter car. That's going to be your Yugo, a Pinto. For all you poor millennials that don't know what a Pinto is, thank you, lucky stars. A basic car. The wafer lights have no depth to them, so the bulb doesn't sit recessed from the surface of the ceiling, and so it gives you a really washed out general light. It will light your space, but it is budget first when it comes to that. There are better choices for wafer lights that have a slight baffle or a slight regression of the bulb. And those still budget friendly, still $20 a piece, something like that. They're not going to be the 6 for $30 on Amazon, but they're going to last longer. They're going to be from brands that you know and trust and have warranties. Now, the ones with a slight baffle or a little bit of a reflector that are going to give you an inch or so, those are more like your starter car. They're your first nice car. You don't want your brother to borrow it, that kind of thing. Then you get into sort of the mid-range, which has a very wide range. And they're going to come with things like a baffle that's extended 4 inches or so that the light is moved away from the surface so you get more diffusion, or reflectors that are going to give you more features. They're also going to have better light quality. That's your CRI, your color rendering index. That's how good the light is. They're going to have color temperature changes, but they all kind of have the Kelvin changing. They'll also have features like beam spread choices and color choices as far as getting a bulb that is just 3000 kelvins versus one of those little switches where it's not quite as accurate as a color meter would like. And they're going to give you more trim choices. So gimbals, recessed trims, baffles, reflector trims. These are all different kinds of choices that you're going to find in that medium range price range. And then if you want to go to the Ferrari dealership with me, that's when you get into the big time. And these lights are $300, $400, $500, $600 a piece. They have integrated bulbs for the most part, very much like the mid-range of good lights. But they're going to give you all kinds of capabilities and lumen output and Kelvin capabilities to not 8,000, where it's so clear you can see your money burning. They have every kind of option that you want. If you're in that price range, call me. But otherwise, there are lots of good options that are in that mid-range where you can get most of those options. You just need to know what the options are that you need. So do you need it to be wet rated, like for a shower or outside? Do you need it to be near insulation? So that's an IC housing. That's more expensive than a non-IC housing, which is not near your insulation. When you get into the higher end fixtures, I mean, they have smart apps, they have color changing technology, they have anything you can imagine. When you figured out where they're going to go and what type you might need, and you start shopping, think about the lumens. That's how much light it puts out. Also think about the beam spread. So whether it's a tight beam spread, a narrow, a spot, or it's a flood and it's way out here. And don't forget about the color temperature. That's really important, and it's important that you carry that throughout spaces that share light. So you don't want to mix up if the living room and the kitchen are right next to each other and you have a great room situation. You don't want to have the kitchen at 4,000 kelvins and the living room at 2,700 kelvins. That's like when you see somebody's house and they put a replacement bulb on one side of the garage and the other side just doesn't look right. So we don't want to do that. The thing you have to keep in mind when you are buying these and looking at the prices is that doesn't include installation. For that, you're going to have to see an electrician, and winter is coming. This is not something you need to witness. I don't know if this is a private road. They have a private road to get into the Ferrari dealership. I mean, come on. How fun is this going to be? They won't even talk to me. The way I'm dressed, fix myself up. Look Ferrari worthy. Yeah, zip up my sweatshirt. That'll get me in the door. Come on, people. Can you just let me cheat over?